Hey everybody, we're here for round two. We've added my little cousin, a second generation cousin. This is Joy's daughter, youngest daughter in the family. My nickname for her is Buddha, because when she was a baby, she used to sit like a little Buddha. So it just kind of stuck. But she's now a student at San Jose State. We're very proud of her. She's doing great things. And we have her here because the question was one that she posed in between her and her friends. They want to know something. And so Joy and I thought we would give our perspective on it. And a lot of older women want to know the same thing. So, okay, so you going out with this dude, right? Everything's cool. You like the dude. It's wonderful. When does this dating morph into a, quote, full-term relationship? When do you get the title of girlfriend, boyfriend? What do they call it now? Boo thing?
I think the word is bae.
Bae? Oh, bae. Okay, I don't know.
Maybe. Like this.
And so we want to know what are the thoughts on this? So the girls are having a problem. How long does it usually take for them to start getting curious? How long are they dealing with the dudes?
Well, okay, I think like a good month or 2 months. Okay. The thing about me, personally, I'm more of a, when you feel it, and then you just hope the other person feels the same way. But you don't want to go too fast either, because that's just scare them.
Right.
You should probably think about it a little bit. But I would say a good amount is a month of good talking, hanging out, getting to know each other. And if you're doing a couple stuff, then it's just gonna morph into that. Usually it just does it naturally.
Right. Yes, that's true. Okay, and your perspective, madam?
Well, it depends on the guy, really. If you're dating a guy and you may really like him and he's saying all the right things, and if there's no actions to the words he's saying, you need to pay attention to that. Because most guys just want to string you along, especially younger guys. Oh shoot, old guys too. Let me
all of them.
If they're a guy, they want to string you along, just so that they have you when they want you, so to speak. So they'll say anything, and then there comes a time where they put their foot in their mouth. Every time. Can you think of a time, Deborah, when they, get put on the spot and now their foot's in their mouth?
Oh, they say some of the dumbest shit. And then you sit there looking at them like, God. I just tell you, dudes need to just shut up. They would get more from women if they just be quiet sometimes. But I don't know. When I'm looking at situations like that, all right, it's the words have to match the actions. But also, what actions are they showing? I think even if the guy is moving slowly, there should be consistency. And that is the number one problem that I have with them, is the lack of consistency. First, they just all up in your face, you can't get rid of them. Oh, everything is wonderful, this and that. And then, they put space between you. And then here they come back. It's all up in your face, and that confuses women. It's okay, so what, are we a couple or are we not? What are we doing here? And I think the mistake some women make too is they let the man decide instead of saying, well, this is what I want. You're not giving it to me. Deuces. That's what I think.
What has been your take on this now that you're a college student? And, we have experience with some of the older guys, There's some young guys that try to talk to me, but I know better.
They still feel they still have milk breath.
So what are some of the things that you see out here with the younger guys that we don't encounter unless they're our children or grandchildren?
I feel like nowadays most people just don't want to commit. I mean, okay, so we live in a very monogamy central world, and I think a lot of people don't necessarily fit into that like standard anymore, and so they don't want to just be with one person. So I think like nowadays it's just guys, they don't want to take that step to being official because that just means they have to be with one person. So I mean, some people do like monogamy, but I mean, that just might be one aspect of it. I don't know. I don't have that much experience probably compared to you two.
What do you mean probably?
So
if you did, we gonna be like, what?
So like, I've never actually been in a relationship. I've had like situationships, and you know, it's weird because you're invested, but like it's not
Right.
official. So it's like you're supposedly not supposed to be hurt by it, but like it still hurts.
Of course, because you
Yeah.
like the person.
Right, but it's just like, it's a mess. Don't do it. Don't. I think the title is important. I mean, you can agree with like no labels, but I still feel like I view relationships as contracts. Like you agree on something like, hey,
Exactly.
don't have sex with any other person, and I won't have sex with any other person, or I will emotionally put my whatever.
It's called in making an investment.
Right. Yeah, you're emotionally investing into somebody, and I'm emotionally investing into you, and everyone has like different contracts. And so, where was I going with this? I'm sorry, I just started rambling. But
So for instance, I saw on a television show, and it was actually about side chicks, and they had side chick contracts. I mean, they literally, they signed these contracts that they understood to play their position, what their position was, what they wouldn't do, what they would get and what they wouldn't get, and they knew that they had the day before a major holiday or the day after a major holiday. So what do you think? What do you think brings our young generational women to accept that type of treatment?
maybe it's just because it's so truthful. You know, they know like not to invest too much into that person. Maybe. Because this isn't new stuff. I mean, for centuries.
What's new though is the openness of it.
Yeah, the openness of it. Is
Because men have always had second families across town, or men who are traveling salesmen would have, truckers and things would have families in other states and whatnot. So that in itself isn't new. Even men who didn't would have, outside babies, outside their marriages and stuff like that. Women would get pregnant by men that were not their husband and pass the baby off as his. All that has been going on, but now it's so open. People, they even have websites where people go and it's known this is where you go to find somebody to cheat with. It's terrible. So the whole idea where people are hanging on to the concept of monogamy, even though I think that's best for building families, I think that's best for building a future for our communities. It's more stable, emotionally. I mean, I think a lot of the problems people are having is because they're not rooted, they're not grounded in anything, and everything goes. I mean, it's a hot mess out here. But I don't see where it's helping anything. People are more depressed and more suicidal and having more mental illness and on antidepressants and stuff than ever before. And I think a lot of it is, this change in society. It's just leaving people floating in the wind. People don't feel grounded anymore. I think as humans, we need that.
I think it's kind of like you said, floating in the wind, and the first thing that came to my mind as you were speaking were tumbleweeds.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a generation of not just the younger generation, but of men that are just tumbleweed Negroes, regardless of what color they are. They just literally blow in the wind, and they blow to this female and that female, and then the women just accept it. And then there's women who say, okay, well, if they're going to do it, I'm going to do it too. So I'm going to put this dude in rotation and that dude in rotation, and he's going to be next. And no one is committing to anything or anybody. And that's kind of scary to me.
Very scary.
How do you live life without love?
pretty easy. I do it all the time.
See, I think my own philosophy about that is that the amount of love we have in our life stays the same. It just tends to go and flow and come from different sources. But the lust stage is like, you and your mama will drive up on somebody and beat them down underneath the ground if they do anything to you. So if they do, you better not tell us. But I'm just saying, this little girl, I swear this was like my baby. That, she just happened to have her. But, that's how, I don't know, I know what you mean. You want the, more romantic love. And of course, you're at that age. That's what you're looking for. And, but, the way we feel is the guy who gets you better have his shit straight together. Because, he doesn't deserve you if he doesn't. And so I think a lot of young women, though, what she was saying, and even older, don't have that belief in themselves. So they don't think that about themselves. They don't think they're smart and gorgeous and worthy of being loved and treated well and stuff. So that's why they settle for any old thing that comes along. They just don't want to they want to feel like somebody cares about them. And so they just take it.
I would say I agree with you. Like, I felt that way, about myself. I was like, oh, no one likes me. I'm ugly. And all the boys want the skinny little white girls. And then, nothing of the sort. So.
Do you see it in here?
So, but I don't know. After just kind of dating around, I realized men are dumb. They're just stupid.
And at 19, she already knows this.
They're just like at all ages, and so you realize, oh, that's all they want, and then you just kind of like, I don't know, I'm a little bit of a player, not gonna lie, I'm like a little but I don't know, when I really like somebody, I keep them close to me and I like grow with them, and I think I've kind of found somebody like that, but like time still has its and stuff, but generally yeah, it's just, you have to make those connections.
You have to. I think a lot of it is, we were talking earlier in our other video about men having low self-esteem and being very insecure. And if you factor in the fact that someone doesn't feel good about themselves and they feel insecure and unsure about, what they have to offer somebody, that would contribute to them not feeling like they are can really keep a one woman. But they're not going to accept that. They're not going to say, well, it's me that can't keep the one woman, and that's what I'm afraid of. They're going to just jump around and be woman to woman, so they never have to face those fears. You see what I mean? It's always going to be her fault instead of looking within and saying, well, it's me that's scared that I love her and I can't keep her, so I'm just going to hop from woman to woman, woman to woman. I think there's a lot of that.
And I think they're just assholes,
Okay.
personally.
Well, that's just
Because
Okay, I didn't know if we could cuss them.
they,
I was about to say that for so many times.
no, we can't say that. But what I am saying that a lot of men are assholes and they want everything their way. And they think the grass is always greener on the other side. And because women flirt with them, they think they're supposed to dip their paintbrush in every paint can in every paint store in America. And that's not healthy.
Right.
It's not a healthy thought process or behavior. And it definitely is not healthy or fair to us as women of color that our men are doing this. And sometimes we don't even know they're doing this. And then even worse, it might not even be another woman.
Exactly.
So at what point do you say enough is enough? Like, I'd love to be in a relationship, but at the same time, it ain't no man or woman on this planet worth you dying for. And that's what's out here nowadays, because everyone is so accepting of a different lifestyle and a different type of an open relationship with no labels, no classifications. You're opening yourself up to a world of hurt, loneliness, and even worse, disease and death.
The kind where you suffer. It's not like you like a heart attack where you just check out of here real quick. You might last for years, just slowly dying. Oh,
I don't think it's like worst case scenario. I don't know. My philosophy is be a hoe if you want to be a hoe, but just don't infringe on other people's happiness and stuff. So I think as long, I don't know. I think I guess polygamy would be the term, right? I think as long as all parties are okay with it. And I think it's successful for some people, but it's not successful for all people. And I think that's what people have to understand. I think it's like you can venture out into it a little bit, but like just make sure all parties know. I think the issue,
everyone has to have to be a consenting part
and
of the
so
scenario.
I think like the danger of the aspect of like not being monogamous is if all parties don't know. That's where the disease and getting injured because you mess with somebody's girl and her man's really upset, and because again, men, they're dumb. They're gonna like try to shoot or stab or something.
Yeah, they get very territorial over what they consider as theirs.
Right. And so, I think as long as people are consenting, it doesn't have to be like so,
Well, no, and that's true, and that is increasingly popular in some segments of the population. However, what we're running into is people that want to have that lifestyle, or they want to be on the DL, whatever, and they have this mate at home, they have a family, they have this person who's under this delusion that the vows they took in the situation that they, contracted was the one that they're still operating under. And this person has totally changed the game on them, and they don't know. And is the hardest thing, I think, when women, when a divorce happens and some kind of situation like that, breakup and stuff, that I think is what infuriates women the most, is that, they were lied to. It's like, if you want to do that, just be honest and say, this is what I want to do. And then she's going to pack your stuff up and put it on the other side of the door and you could be fine. But that's what they do. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Yeah. And so, you have one person operating under the old contract and you operating on some newfangled thing that you just thought of. No, then we can't do that. That's where it becomes an issue. And so even if a title is associated with it, you agreed to be this title, but then now all of a sudden you doing something different. Well, what the hell? Just be honest. And that just seems to be so hard for people to do. Mostly you men.
Well, I think it goes both ways nowadays, because there's women who are just as much out here hopping around as men do. And they say, well, I just want what I want, and then they could get up and leave. Well, you could do that with your toilet. So you are allowing someone to treat you like a toilet, or you're treating someone else like a toilet. And you might choose to believe, because you're a woman acting in this way, you're empowered, but you're not, because that's really not the way we're made up. I mean, we can do that, but it's like, what does it do to the human psyche? How do you go about life when you don't have any true investment in anything? I'd rather be alone than go and go from, as my father used to say, pillar to post, or hoe hopping, to get what you want from a variety of people, when you can hopefully find one person, regardless of what the agreement is.
Right.
Maybe you're not married, maybe you don't live in the same household, but as Angel was saying earlier, you agree that, I will not be intimate with anyone else. And believe me, that's good for your health nowadays, because there's some stuff out here that has not even been diagnosed yet. And say you end up getting something that is not even on the medical records, as when AIDS came out, how many people died from that? Nobody's worth that.
Right. Oh, I'm in full agreement. So, in rounding about, or circling back to your original question, I'm of the mind that the behaviors of commitment and wanting that one-on-one type of situation happens before the conversation. That's the way it's always been. They start treating you like you're that kind of woman to them. You're that important to them. Your health and welfare and what happens to you, your safety, your comfort, all of that becomes a top priority for him. He's consistent with it. It's always there. Those kind of caretaking behaviors are always there. And he then, after a certain period of time, will talk to you about it and want to make it official. I think some women get stuck on the words and then the behavior. Well, he said we was this and that. Okay, but what is he doing? And so unless the two match up, and I look for the actions first to be backed up by the words, then to me, then that's it. And you don't really have to worry about it because he's showing you who the man he is versus talking about it. That's my opinion.
So does that answer some of your questions?
Yeah.
Cause you'll see it. You'll know. Cause every time you turn around, he's gonna be up in your face. What you need, what you want. What can I do for you?
And on the flip side, I would say, ladies, it's really important not to try to rush the situation. Get to know someone, because you never really know somebody until you live with them.
I'm not living with nobody.
And then, but what I'm saying is that's too late. I mean, you can always make changes to that situation, but what I'm saying, and grandmother used to say that all, like, girl, don't ever marry nobody without living with them first. And I see why she says that, because when you live with somebody, you see the true, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. How they socks really smell, how they snore, and how they fart walking down the hall. All kind of stuff you get to see, and it's like, ooh, I think I'm good. I don't want to do this.
Right. But I don't think you should ever come outside of yourself for your own health, spiritually more so than mentally, so that you have what it is you want in life. You should never put yourself on a back burner to be with someone who is not meeting you in the middle.
Exactly.
So if all of you ladies who are out there who's cool with the side chick contracts, all of that may get you killed, especially if it was my husband. But anyway, if you're cool with that and that's something you truly want to do, understand the hazards that go along with that, because there's a very thin line between love and hate. And if whether it's male or female is out here ho-hopping and that other party doesn't know, it could be dangerous. I mean, that's why they call it a crime of passion. When you're betrayed and you know nothing about it, oh look, and don't talk about walking in on it. Oh my
and
God.
they bad enough when you are officially broken up and divorced, and then here they come wanting to, still be feeling possessive and controlling. So yeah, what she's saying is very, very true. You better understand the other party, the one that you're not messing with, and how they perceive this, because you could be getting yourself in a world of trouble.
And then it's too late, wrong place, wrong time, messing with the wrong person. And the very person that you feel like that man or that woman was telling you, oh, we don't even sleep in the same room, or we're not this and we're not that. Well, trust me, they telling that woman something totally different. They're giving her or him their all at home. And when they find something like that out, and you become a casualty caught in the middle. And I know some people who left this planet that very way. It's very dangerous. So if you want a man, I would say get your own man, or keep yourself open to whatever options come down the road. But don't try to take shortcuts and take somebody else's man or woman, because it could take your life. And I'm just keeping that on the real.
Yeah, I had a friend, she was older than me, but when I went away to Texas, when I came back, I found out that she'd been killed. Her landlord, was sleeping with her she was trying to reduce her rent. And the wife walked in on them and killed them both.
Yeah.
And she was all of 21 years old.
So it's dangerous out here. Ladies, it's more dangerous for us, because we'll find ourselves in a precarious situation where you may not even know the dude is living with somebody, or you may not know that they're married, because some guys are just that good. They know when to go home, when to stay out. They're away on business. They may have you come, but a woman has intuition, trust me. And so do men. If you are the soulmate of someone and you've been with them for a while, you know what they're doing in your gut. You have an instinct, and that is extremely dangerous. So all you side chicks out there, I really hope you rethink your position because the only position you may end up in is in a wooden box with your hands folded 6 feet under. So everyone, please think about that.
So, moral of the story, basically, if you want to be a hoe, be a hoe. But if not, you know, be in a committed relationship. But be a smart hoe if you're going to be a hoe.
So thank you everybody for joining us for another video. We will see you in a couple of days with the next one. Bye-bye.
Enjoyed that content? Then please become a subscriber to the Deborrah channel. Hit the subscription button and the instant notification bell so that you get an alert right on your phone when new content is uploaded, or I sit down and decide to do a live stream. That happens sometimes just out of the blue. I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. Please share a link or two and help the channel grow. Deb Cooper, I'm signing out.